So the first thing he does is get into a good load position to get ready to throw the ball by stepping back and bringing the ball back so that he can begin his throw. One thing he can do better is maybe widen his stance, because as the ball goes up and back, it changes his center of gravity. Next, what he does is he steps at his target, which is good so that he can be accurate with his throw. Next, he uses his hips well to generate momentum and transfer that momentum up into his arm to generate force for his throw.
Then he comes to releasing the ball. He releases it over his shoulder instead of out in front of his body. That's why the ball goes up. And then when he's following through, he doesn't take a step, which puts his center of balance in front of his base. This is why he is falling to his knee.
Okay. Another thing that he could do somewhat better is when he loads the ball up right here, his wrist is kind of turned back like that. So when he's generating force in, this direction, it's pushing back on his wrist that direction, which could lead to injury or overuse injuries. Also, when he doesn't follow through, the amount of distance that he applies force is about that long, because it starts there, ends there, whereas if he took a step to follow through, he could start the force here and continue the force all the way to there, and then since change in momentum is equal to force times time, the impulse being applied over more time with the same amount of force would make the momentum of the ball when he releases it greater. So not only does not falling through this foot make him fall on his knee, but it applies less force to the ball and less momentum.
Okay, so he brings the ball back behind his body, and that's just to create more impulse to get the ball to accelerate. The ball, once he releases the ball, it's a projectile because there's no other external force working on it but gravity, and the ball's vertical acceleration is going to remain constant. Newton's first law also demonstrates that the horizontal velocity is constant and in a straight line. And there's three things that are going to affect how high or how far the ball travels. It's the angle of release, speed of release, and height of release. He releases the ball at a little less than 35 or 45 degrees, so the object's going to go farther than it will go high. And he's releasing the ball from above the surface, so it's an optimal angle of release. And the ball's a trajectory, which is going to follow the path of the arc when it's thrown.